Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurul Afini binti Hamzaini. Matrix number 264377. So for this video, I would like to tell you about the theory that can relate it with the case 6. So these are the theory that I think can relate with the case 6, which are agency theory and stakeholder theory. Agency theory is what is agency theory? Agency theory is used to understand the relationship between agents and the principals. Okay, this one later I will continue in the other part. The second one is stakeholder theory, where corporate governance focus on the effect of corporate activity on all stakeholders of the corporation. Okay, so we move to the benefit of good corporate governance. Why corporate governance is good in to adopt in the business? It is because the first one to encourage of positive behavior, and the second one is improving top level decision making and to attract the talented directors and many more. But this is just knowledge for you guys. Okay, so we move to the next. Okay. So it's the time to move to the agency theory. Let's go. What is agency theory? Okay, agency theory, like I said earlier, which are to understand with, the relationship between the principals and agents. What is principal? Principal is such as a shareholder of the company, and the agents is such as directors of the company. Based on this theory, the principals delegate the work of running the business to the directors or managers who are agents of the shareholders. The key feature of agency theory is expression of ownership and control. And then this theory prescribes that people and employees are held accountable in their tasks and responsibilities. And then rewards and punishment can be used to correct the priorities of agents. How the theory apply in case 6? This is applied when Salman takes action where he initiate the micro governance reform, like hiring an independent director and separating ownership from management. Okay, such I said earlier, is it good enough to apply the theory of corporate governance in the business? Even though Salma have challenged the earlier practices, values, culture, and norms and authority of the family business. He I believe that he do not have any intention to make the business worse, but he want to the family business to be in the right path and in line with the change of the development in the world of business. Okay, next. Before this, the Chaudhry family also delegate the work, like the case stated that the senior Chaudhry brothers were only engaged in the restaurant business and do not involve in the decision making. But after implement the corporate governance, the system become a little bit different because the shareholders of the business is from outsider, not from their family. But after implementing the corporate governance in line with the theory, it's made the family members slowly on can adapt with it. Corporate governance is good to implement in family business because when the outsider is involved in their business, it is good for the business to maintain their reputation as owners of the business. In this case, when they are having separation of ownership and control, the business will be easy to run smoothly. So, based on the case, it is for the first time the family business directors felt that they were involved in the strategic decision for business growth to perform an advisory task. For each of the options, the director were hopeful for business growth. For the past few decades, the senior Chaudhry's brother were only engaged in the restaurant business, like I said before. So from this we can see that even though before this they felt the adopting the corporate governance will challenge their position in their own business, but um, They are wrong because when corporate governance is carried out well in the business, it will give a good impact to them. So next, we move to the stakeholder theory. So what is the stakeholder theory? In stakeholder theory, corporate governance focuses on the effect of corporate activity on all stakeholders of the corporation as opposed to focusing on the corporate effect on the shareholders. Stakeholders theory incorporate the accountability of management to a broad range of stakeholders. It states that managers in organization have a network of relationships to serve such as suppliers, employees, and business partners. The theory focuses on managerial decision making and interests of all stakeholders have intrinsic value and no set of interest is assumed to dominate the others. How stakeholder theory applied in the case 6. The chairman is using his veto power to make decision to avoid conflict of interest in the meeting. Okay. However, not all the time he is using his veto power in the decision making that chairman want to make. This is because maybe he want to give opportunities to the board to make their own voting of options, but most of the time in the case they are failed to make it. Okay, based on the case, before this, two of decision making in the board did not using the chairman veto power. However, the chairman of the board used his veto power to take the final decision in favor of Stephen Boras. Okay, but this decision is hurt Mobin Khan, and he put for his resignation. He argued that the family dominance in the business was being exercised at the cost of the firm's strategic interest, but it is not. Um, the chairman did not accept Mobin's resignation and decided to take him on the corporate board by increasing the board size from 5 to 6 members without observing any due process for hiring a director. Although the other members, including Saman and Sozia, raised their concern and they kept quiet in the best interest of the firm. Why the chairman did like this? Because maybe he think that they can't adapt with the situation yet, so that he don't want the family members to feel like they are not important. Okay, so in this case it is good decision made by Salman to implement the corporate governance because so there will have no sets of interest is assumed to dominate the other. This is because based on this case, um, often occur family politics and egos in many discussions that they have been made. It could result in downfall of the business because of their behavior. In every discussion, the family members are making problem with their ego, which were looking higher as compared with organizational interest. This is because corporate governance is good to apply in the business family because there might be many of problem because they think they just want uh, to privilege their interest, not the organizational interest. What they just want to do, like what they want to do, and they do not want to. They afraid sometimes they afraid to move forward to in line um, with the development of the other business. Based on the case, Boras want the family business to grow, which was possible if everyone on the corporate board would be willing to prefer organizational interests over personal interests and family ego. Based on feedback from Sazia on business policy, corporate strategy, CEO succession and the CEO duality issues, there was a need to adopt governance practices in the family business to avoid conflicts of interest and family politics, like I said before. This is in the earlier part of the case. The conflict of interest is still high, even though the corporate governance have been adopted. But maybe it is too early for the family members to adapt with the situation. However, at some points, they are agree with practices because um, they have their own right to voice out their opinion compared to before this. So that's all from me. Thank you for watching and thank you for hearing my opinion on about the theory of the corporate governance.